That'll be fine.
So bonjour, wachenin, tanse. Welcome to Lakehead University Storytelling with Isaac Murdoch. Aadsookaanan, I probably said that wrong. Aadsookaanan. We are happy you are able to join us. Denise Baxter, Indigenous, Makwadodem, Martin Falls, and Donjaba. My name is Denise Baxter. I work as the Vice Provost, Indigenous Initiatives here at Lakehead University, and I'll be your MC for the event today. Lakehead University respectfully acknowledges its campuses are located on the traditional lands of Indigenous peoples. Lakehead Thunder Bay is located on the traditional lands of Fort William First Nation, signatory to the Robinson Superior Treaty of 1850. And Lakehead Aurelia is located on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe as well. The Anishinaabe include the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations, collectively known as the Three Fires Confederacy. And so just a warm hello to those who are joining us from the Aurelia campus. Lakehead University also acknowledges the history that many nations hold in the areas around our campuses and is committed to a relationship with First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples based on the principles of mutual trust, respect, reciprocity, and collaboration in the spirit of reconciliation. I would just like to also extend a warm welcome to my Grand Chief Alvin Fiddler of Anishinaabe Aski Nation. And so we're very pleased that he's able to have a couple hours that somehow showed up in his calendar free this afternoon. So things work out the way they are supposed to. So we're happy to have you here today. Before we begin, I would like to share an important notice of video recording of this event. We are doing this to preserve a record of the event in the university's archives. So those of you who are here today, or those of you who couldn't be able to attend today, you will be able to watch this recording at a later time. It will be on our Lakehead University Indigenous website. And so by attending, you are agreeing to be included in the recording and its public dissemination in any media now known or later developed anywhere in the world in perpetuity. So you'll be forever immortalized. So again, miigwech, and thank you for joining us. And so you may see Elder Beatrice here to my right. I would like to invite Elder Beatrice Twans Hines from Bictegong First Nation to share an opening prayer with us. Welcome, Elder Beatrice.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Before I start, I just want to say, I wanted to attend his Isaac's storytelling. And when that opportunity came up to me, right on, I'm going to go do the opening. So I'm really glad to be here to listen to his words. Okay. Bonjour, minwa kijem nedo. Mishom sak nok misak denaway maginak. Wabishko pebishko jimanatui quain indishnikas. Kitchen megizi quain indishnikas gaye. Ni mama makwa dudim. Ni baba wawash ke she dudim. Beatrice nindishnikas biktikong nindonji. Hello again, Creator. Grandfathers, grandmothers, all my relations. My name is White Horse Spirit Woman. I'm also called Big Eagle Woman. And my mom is from the Bear Clan. My dad is from the Deer Clan. And my given name is Beatrice, and I'm from Bictegong First Nation. So, Creator, I'd like to say Chimigwech for the gift of today, for the beautiful gift of today, and for all of us who are gathered here today to listen to the stories, to listen to the teachings. Creator, I'd like to say Chimigwech for all of your creation, for Mother Earth and all that she gives, the plants, the medicines, and especially the water, which is the lifeblood of our Mother Earth. And Creator, bless that water that's in each one of us. Help us to do the best that we can, to smile at one another. And Creator, we ask you to bless the woman, for we are the water carriers. We take care of that water, and a lot of what we do revolves around water. And it is through water that life begins. And we are like our Mother Earth, 70% water as well. And Creator, I'd like to say Chimigwech, our grandmother moon, and the connections to the waters of the earth. Chimigwech for Father Sky, the air that we breathe. Chimigwech to grandfather sun, and that opportunity of each new day, that warmth. And Creator, I ask you to bless all the men who are here, for they are the fire keepers. They take care of the fire and keep the home fires warm. Bless all our family members. Bless the the communities as well. And Creator, I'd like to say special prayer to all those who are grieving. There has been so many losses in our communities. A lot of our people have completed their earthly purpose here on earth and have traveled back to the spirit world. So Creator, give us comfort in the love and the memories that we have of them. And Creator, like to say chimigwich to Denise and the Indigenous program and Lakehead University for providing this opportunity for us to learn, to listen to the stories. And chimigwich, Creator, for that light, that more light that's happening in each new day. And chimigwich for the season of winter, story time. Miigwech, 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 miigwech.
Oh, miigwech, thank you.
Would you like some water?
No, I'm fine.
Miigwech, Elder Beatrice, for that beautiful opening and the warm words of welcome. And also just to extend also a hearty welcome to everyone who's joining us in the circle today. And those who are joining us virtually, as I saw the word virtual lodge was put out, and I thought that was really a nice way to see people come together. So we are super excited today, and it just has one of those little moments where an opening, I think, showed up in his calendar, and he put a little shout out to the universe. And we were fortunate enough to be one of the people that was able to host Isaac Murdoch in his time in Thunder Bay today. So it's now my pleasure to welcome Isaac Murdoch. Bamgizik. Bamgizik is from Serpent River First Nation. He's of the Fish Clan and is Ojibwe. He has 4 beautiful children, and he currently lives in the forest in Nimki. Oh, my Ojibwe is terrible. Aadsookaanan, an Indigenous community that focuses on Indigenous language, art, and land-based activities. Blessed with the opportunity, Bamgizik grew up in the traditional setting of hunting and gathering on the land. Having spent many years learning from elders, he spends a lot of his time as a storyteller. Many of these stories become his visual arts piece, which have become recognized worldwide. Bamgizik also is a singer-songwriter who loves to make music whenever he gets a chance. You will often find him on the land, looking at his favorite plants or gazing up into the beautiful night sky. So we'd like to welcome Isaac Bamgizik, and
Miigwech, thank you.
happy to have you.
I think I'm just going to go now because after that introduction, I got my feed of my egos fed. Like, just go now. It's a great honor to be here. I'm really happy to be here. And oftentimes when you go to different communities or different places, you never really know what you're going to say. And it's on purpose and it's on design. And the reason why storytellers are like that is because they base their stories off of spirit or memory. And so at this point, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to say, which is normal. I will say that this is my 3rd talking thing today. I was out of school early this morning, and then I went to Onwa, and then I'm here. So I'm really happy to be here. You know, stories have a way of capturing not just who we are, but what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to act. Because right now in this world, it's so confusing. There's so many different paths, there's so many different opportunities, and you can go this way and that way, and this, you can just do whatever you want. And it's hard to know, like, what's our true purpose? As an Anishinaabe, what is my true purpose? I didn't know when I was young. I thought I was going to be a rice picker for my entire life. And I was happy being a rice picker. Spiders and all, I was happy doing it. Because that was my life and I didn't mind it. And then I was a commercial fisherman. I thought, oh, this is good. And I was a trapper, and I was in the bush all the time, making maple syrup or whatever. I had a good life in the bush. But for whatever reason, it took me out of the bush to become a storyteller. And I never thought that I'd be able to travel the world as a storyteller. Like, whoever thinks one day I'm going to be a storyteller and I'm going to travel the world, Like right now, I could be in Mexico telling stories, but I don't want to be in Mexico telling stories because I want to be here telling stories. My life has been amazing as a storyteller, and I never thought that was even a profession. Whoever thought that I could be a storyteller and travel the world telling stories? I thought it was, especially somebody like me, who grew up in a tent, didn't have clean water in our village, didn't have 2 pennies to rub together, raising my kids in prospector tents and wigwams that I could try to make. Whoever thought that I could travel the world as a storyteller? It was unthinkable at the time. You don't know where life's going to take you. But what the stories have done to me is they actually said, Isaac, anything is possible. When you find out what your real purpose is and what you're really supposed to do, it'll take you to where you need to go. And you just have to surrender yourself, because oftentimes I think that in today's society we get deadlocked into things we don't want to do. But if you master who you really are and what your really true purpose is on why you're here, then you can do absolutely anything. Because if I could be a storyteller from the bush and end up here in this beautiful place, then so can you. You can do amazing things too. Bonjour, never Murdoch. Maznapkan Gego and Abi Indigenous cause. Gonna be Gok Shibigaj what and Donjabag, Noji and Do Dem. Nishnabe Nimi and Down, and Kiaj Bekong Ninda. On Gitchin and Dum, Yayama Piwiganon and Guk. Aadsookaanan. I'm very happy to be here. I'm from the Fish Clan. I want to tell you some stories. And the very first story that comes to mind is a very interesting one. And it's a story that I heard several times, and it was like a fairy tale. Like an actual fairy tale. Like, you know, like European fairy tales? I always figured it like that. It was a little bit different than the other stories I heard. But then when I got older, they kept telling me this story. They're like, this really happened, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to know this story. And I want to share this story with you because it's relevant. I thought it was irrelevant until I got older. Then I found out that it's relevant. Years ago, there was a young boy that was born. And they knew that this boy was special. And Bijiko Nene was his name. And he was a very strong little boy. And it was predicted that this young boy was going to be raised by the buffalo in the plains. That this little boy was going to be casted off into the wild to go live and be raised by buffalo. Now you have to remember, I come from Lake Huron, I come from the Great Lakes. So in my mind, I never even seen the prairies or knew what buffalo even were. But that's what the story was. This little boy grew up, he got raised up, and as soon as he was about this tall, they casted him into the forest. And they let him find his way. This little boy traveled all the way from Baoting, Sault Ste. Marie. He traveled all the way through the Great Lakes, all the way through here, all the way through right to the prairies where the buffaloes are. And the chief of all the buffaloes raised him as his own son, and told him, I'm raising you to teach you about what's going to happen in the future. We read the stars from north to south. That's what the buffalo told him. And the future is told there. There's a hole in the sky called Bogonogijik. It's a great spiritual place where the spirits come through. At nighttime, we look up and we can tell the future in that hole in the sky. And I'm going to tell you what the future is for you. When you get a little bit older, you're going to travel all the way to Aadsookaanan, the Atlantic Ocean. And once you get to the Atlantic Ocean, you're going to meet a bear, the chief of all the bears. And once you meet that bear, you're going to be that bear's speaker. You're going to talk for that bear. And that bear is going to instruct you what's going to happen from then on. But for now, you must be raised with us. So that boy lived with those buffaloes. That's what I was told. He lived with them. The chief told him, he says, you know, on my legs, they're filled with knowledge. The seeds that get stuck on my feet, he says, they travel, they migrate with me. He says, and the knowledge that we have from the stars also migrates from animal to animal. Whenever you get stuck, whenever you don't know nothing, go to the people to teach you what you need to know. So he learned all this knowledge from this buffalo. And when he got to be a teenager, the buffalo put him on the hump of an old buffalo to fast. So the young teenager now sat there like this, on the hump of that buffalo, legs crossed, and he fasted on the hump of that buffalo. You know, when I was young, I remember in the cliffs, in the cracks in the rocks, I would find old buffalo horns and things like that. I would leave them alone. But I remember that. Our people used to travel. We have stories from our village where we used to travel all the way to the plains to get the buffalo. But anyway, this boy fasted on this buffalo's back to get strength and courage so that he could travel all the way to the ocean. At that time, it was a scary thing to do for anybody. But he had to do it alone. So he sets off on his journey. And on his journey, you know, he meets a very spiritual being. This being was only out of the ground halfway up to his waist. It was a little person. A Memigwesi. The little person told him, you know, when you get to the water, the big water, you have to fast and pray. And you're going to see a hand come up out of the ground. It's going to be a white hand, but it's going to be a bear's hand. And then you're going to grab that hand and you're going to start singing. And you're going to help pull that bear out of the ground. And that's going to be you got to be the speaker for that bear. So again, he continues his journey. He gets all the way to Aadsookaanan, the Atlantic Ocean. And there he is. He doesn't know what to do, so he sits down and he starts to pray. He starts to fast. And sure enough, the ground starts to rumble. It starts to move a little bit. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I felt that before, when the ground goes like this. Me and my mom did one time in the bush. But that's for another time. The ground starts going like this. All of a sudden you can see a white paw come out like this. It was that white bear's hand, the chief of all the bears. So he grabs that big arm and he starts pulling. That bear comes out. It's the chief of all the bears. That chief says, I'm glad to be here. I come from the center of the earth. And I've been sent up here because the world is changing. And I have to go on a mission. So all of a sudden, not too far, there was a marten. That marten told that bear, before you go on this mission, we must go into the lodge. And I'll run you through that lodge. So they went into a sweat lodge. And that marten poured so much water on those rocks, he burnt that bear black. The only part that was left was a little white spot here where he had his head down. That's why the bears are black today and why there's that white spot there. After he went in that lodge, the bear knew the mission that he had. In the center of the earth, he was told that he had to go on a mission to Gitchigaming, which is different than Gitchigaming. The Gitchigaming ocean. So the bear and this boy were preparing to go all the way to Laganashi, a king. They were getting prepared to go to England. That's what they were told. So of course the boy had to be the speaker of this bear. And sure enough, a ship comes. And when that ship came, the boy spoke up. The young man spoke up and said, but you cannot cage this bear. You cannot put shackles on this bear. If you put shackles on this bear, then you're breaking, it's like a bad thing. So, read. And they start going to England. They start traveling all the way to England on this boat. And when they get there, of course, the bear is all shackled and chained up. Oh. Okay. Okay, this is a little bit better. So the bear is shackled up. They shackled the bear up despite the fact that it wasn't supposed to be. And now the bear is taken to this castle with this boy. This is what I was told when I was young. And the bear is shackled up. And it gets released in the courtyard of this great big castle. And it's sitting there. And right across is the king. And sitting beside the king, on the left, is a great big lion. And on the right is a unicorn. Aadsookaanan is what we call a unicorn. And the king says, I have sent the power of this lion to your lands at night. Spiritually, it's been trying to take over you, the spirits in your land. But it can't defeat the serpents. They're too powerful. So we want to fight your greatest warrior, your greatest four-legged, the bear. And if the bear loses, then we're going to take your lands. And this unicorn here was brought to me by the lion. It was captured by the lion. And we keep it shackled up. And we keep it shackled up because it's the horn has much knowledge in it. It's a very powerful thing. And so it's shackled there. And we're going to use that knowledge to steal your land. That's what was told to the bear by the king. You must kill this lion, but you can't. And you'll be dead here by the end of the day. So, of course, the boy tells the bear, go in there and fight your hardest. And we'll try to save the unicorn. That's what was told. And the bear told that boy in his mind, I'll do my best. And actually, when they started to fight, they tumbled and they rolled around and they started fighting back and forth, back and forth. The bear noticed something. It had a soft spot where its private parts are. So the bear, kind of got beat up a little bit. There was kind of like a little bit of a break. I guess we call it a round in UFC. But in round 2, they went at it again. And the bear was able to get underneath the lion where I was talking about. And it actually ripped that lion apart. And it killed that lion. And it threw the lion, the pieces of it, all over the world. And wherever pieces of that lion landed, 1 year later, a cat would grow out of it. And that's where the cats of the world came from. That's what I was told. Gosh, can suck. That's where they come from. And the bear was proud of his victory. And they went to go save the unicorn. But there's the soldiers, the Jamagamish, they came by the hundreds. So they had to escape. And they escaped just narrowly. And when they got to the ocean, a big turtle was there. And they got on the turtle's back. And the turtle took them right across the Atlantic Ocean. And the bear told that young boy and said, those spirits have been coming here for a long time, trying to steal our lands. But they're never going to be able to do it all the way because I killed that lion. And one day that unicorn will be free and the knowledge will be casted upon the earth and the world will be good again. And I'm going to go back down to the center of the earth as the chief of all the bears. And I'm going to fast for the world. And so the bear crawled back down into the world again, in the middle. And that's what I heard. Ani. Bonjour. And so I used to hear that story growing up. And I used to think, wow, what an interesting story. Like, is this a fascinating story? It was fascinating. It was interesting. It was like just different, because I never really heard about unicorns in our stories and, lions and, the king's castle and like all this stuff. And then one day, I was given something and the story just came like that. The meaning of it came like that. Now I'm going to dig in my bag and I'm going to pull something out and I'm going to pass it around. And it's very important that you do not drop this. If you're not going to drop it, raise your hand. Okay. You could not drop it. So I'm going to go into this is my prop bag. Believe me, this story, it just keeps getting better and better as we go along. It's a long story, but we're gonna make it through this. So in my bag, I have another bag. You ever read those Facebook posts? It's like, I left my stuff in my vehicle and somebody stole it on 22nd Street. And then people are like, well, why didn't you take it with you? If you didn't want it stolen, you should have taken it with you. And, well, I take my stuff with me. So the lion and the unicorn in the story didn't really actually make sense to me until this happened. And I'm going to show you something that's quite interesting. I got moccasins. I got all sorts of neat little bags. That's the one right there. Okay, so I have our family's treaty medals here. And on the medal is a lion and a unicorn. I kid you not. The story of the lion and the unicorn that they're telling me was the story of how they first interacted with each other. And I'll pass it around. And you can't drop it, like I said, because if you drop it, you're going to put a ding in it. And you'll forever be a part of this medal. And look at the front where the lion and the unicorn is. And also when you go around, like look at logos like police logos or like anywhere, you'll see the lion and the unicorn all over the place. And when you're done, you can pass it around. And I'll show you different versions of them. You'll see on there the lion and the unicorn. I was lucky enough to be able to I come from a treaty family, so I was able to hear these stories growing up and to learn about the treaty and what happened. I think that one's 1849. So what they told me about the lion and the unicorn is that the lion was thirsty for power, and it came to these lands a long time ago at nighttime to see if it could conquer our spirits here, but it couldn't. So it invited the bear over there to see if it could kill the bear, and it couldn't. And so the king is very proud of the lion. And because the lion couldn't kill the bear or the serpents, it's the King of England will never ever have these lands. That's what I was told. And at the unicorn, Gandash Indigo Dashkan, unicorn, the horn is a very powerful thing that holds a lot of knowledge. So I've been collecting stories, indigenous stories about the unicorn, and guess where I found out most of the stories? Treaty 3 area. Most of the stories about the unicorn that I've been learning from Anishinaabe people come from Treaty 3 and from Wikwemikong too. There's stories there too. So it's just fascinating because you never really hear stories about unicorns. But I heard that they're from the Thunderbird clan, that they're very powerful, and that that's what I heard. So I believe 4 medals are going around. And shortly after that, the British did come here. They came here again. And we are going to hear a song, a very interesting song, that was recorded on my reserve by Ani Wawashkesh in the 1940s. And I want you to listen to this. The ship is coming. Come on, let's go.
Shagana, Shagana, Shagana.
The British are right here. We know they want the land. We know this is what they want.
The
ship is here, the ship is here. The British are making us promises. They're making us promises for as long as the sun hangs in the sky and for as long as the grass grows. They're going to keep their promises. We have guns and brown pots. This is what the British is promising us for this land. We know they want to give us money for this land. We know this. The ship is here. The ship is here. But we can't give them the land, the waters, the fish, they're telling us how we live without these things. We can't give it to them. So we know that that song goes back a long time. We know that it goes back before the Treaty of Niagara, which happened in 1764. We figured that it happened probably right around the Royal Proclamation, because the Royal Proclamation, this song is in the Royal Proclamation, almost word for word, a lot of it. So we know that this song derives from that time in 1763 when the Royal Proclamation was given to the Anishinaabeg people, or to the Indigenous people. And because of that, we can't take pictures of the medals either. You'll be burned at the stake. Everybody just zooming them and just like taking, I should have been paying attention, probably taking selfies and so we know the song goes back that far because it's almost, the wording is from the Royal Proclamation. And so why that's important is because it gives us the mindset of what happened during the Royal Proclamation. Our people were saying no. We know that you want the land. You know, we know that you're promising to take all these things. We know that you're trying to offer us guns and money and copper pots for the land, and we're saying no. This is what helps us give the mindset of what happened at that time. So of course war broke out. War broke out between the Anishinaabeg and the British. It was a big war. And of course, at that time, William Johnson, his wife, Molly, had gotten a wampum belt made for the 24 nations. And it was offered to the Anishinaabeg people as a way of peace. And I'm going to explain that belt next. Isn't that a cool song? A lot of people don't believe in recording songs, but if that song wasn't recorded in the 1940s, we wouldn't have had it. So I'll be like the first guy saying, oh, don't take a picture of that medal. You know, be burned at the stake. You know, don't record that song. Goes against our custom. But at the same time, if nobody had recorded that song in the 40s, we wouldn't be listening to it today. So there is a value in recording, I believe, some of our historical things. I think it's important. Now, where did those medals go to, and how many are left? Okay, so as those medals are going around, I'm going to tell you another little quick story. So our people did not fully understand the paper document of the Royal Proclamation of 1763. And our people were going to war with them. And so Sir William Johnson had a belt made for the 24 nations to say, let's all be friends. We won't take your land. Don't sell it to the French, but we won't take your land. And let's have a covenant chain agreement. And his wife Molly, who was Joseph Brant's sister, was his wife. So she could easily get this belt made. And they made what's called the covenant chain wampum belt that was done at the Treaty of Niagara, which is like, this is like the founding treaty of between Indigenous people and what is now known as Canada. And I think I might just have one of those right over here. So we'll just, oh, miigwech. Okay. I'll get somebody to hold this microphone. Tell us something. Don't be shy.
She's the quietest person.
That's a great story. I love it.
Oh, do you need help getting up?
I usually do. Okay, so I'll get two people to come and turn the belt the other way. So I'll pick you with the hat. You seem like a pretty hardy guy, like a bush guy. And then grab you with the hat. You seem like a pretty hardy guy, like a bush guy. Just turn the belt, just this side on that side. Just make a U-turn. Yeah, yeah. Make a U-turn. Come around this way. Yeah, keep on going. Keep coming. That's good. Oh, miigwech. Okay. So wampum is alive. In Anishinaabe, and this is called Gitchi Migasabigun. Gitchi Migasabigun. It means like the great belt. These are made out of wampum beads. There's 10,076 beads on here. And you'll see the chain on here. And you'll also see the diamonds, which represent the fires. And you'll see two people in the middle, which are connected to the chains. Now, the idea behind this belt was that the sun would shine on the silver, and the reflection off the silver would shine on the promises, and that the promises would always be revealed as long as this belt was around. The original belt got destroyed, so this belt is a descendant. It's like a grandchild of the original one, and it's an exact replica of its grandparent. So at this time, where did those medals go? We're just about getting done, eh? Just fangirling, you just forgot? So you see the lion and the unicorn on there, eh? Like it's pretty neat. And so these medals were passed down, I guess, in my family from generation to generation. Because we're like that. And the reason why I wanted to show you these is just, it's a part of our history. And I want everybody to come on up and take a look at the wampum belt. And they say that, quick story, that there was a sisters living on the moon. There's a place on the moon. There's a crack there, and there's a family of people that live inside there. And these people are very spiritual people that live inside there. One of the two sisters, they got into a fight and one of them fell off. and she landed in the water and her medicine bag opened up. And when her medicine bag opened up, all of her medicine went to the bottom of the water. And so they say that the Manadosh, the the little worms and things like that, they collect that medicine, they put it on their back, and they keep storing it on their back, and they become shells, and those shells wash to the shore. And that's her medicine. And that's Nanabuju's grandmother. And so the shells, they carry our laws all the way from the deepest parts of the water all the way to the stars. Our laws are coded in these shells somewhere. And that's why wampum is so important to Anishinaabeg people or to Indigenous people. So, well, you got two of them. One in each hand.
One in her pocket.
And one in her pocket. Winner. So my dad is Mkwanimki, bear, thundering bear. His dad was Bomgish Kons, which means the little sky that's turning like this around. His dad was Bomgijik, which means the sky is going like this, or traveling. His dad was Gijigat, which means day. That's where we get our family name from. His dad was Windot Tugonene, who was the signatory of the Robinson Huron Treaty. His dad was Minowewe Benesi, which means good sounding bird. And so this metals, there's 3 generations of metals that from 3 different, there's King George II, King George III, and Queen Victoria. And so starting from over here, I guess you guys can come around like this and you can come and take a look. Because after we're done this, I'm going to put this away and tell you another story. But this is important for the next part of the story. So come and take a look. We don't call these replicas, we call them like descendants of the original belt because they're alive. So it's very important that we know our treaty, or what led up to the treaties, the pre-treaty treaties, I guess, that took place for Anishinaabeg people. Every year the belt is to be taken out and polished, which means it has to be wiped with some leather. And so that the shine will forever be lit up on the promises. They say that on the metals, there's 2 roads on this metal. On one side of the metal, this rim here is the Anishinaabe rim, our road. This is their road. If we ever get unlawfully charged, we could take a metal like this into the court and say, you made promises that we were to have our own road, and you cannot charge us on these you cannot put your laws on our people. That was agreed upon when we got these medals. So there is a lot of meaning to these things. And I might as well bring out the other belt. This belt was made by my great aunt in the 1950s or so, and it represents the treaty as well. and the laws that are with it. To be able to take care of these things, one must know the history and the stories behind it and all of those things. So this wasn't given lightly, of course. This bead here has 15,000 beads in it to represent the 15,000 warriors that were sent off to go fight the British. There's 35 promises that were made, and the rivers are on there, the green grass, and the sun shining is in this other belt. On this other belt, there's two roads, one for them and one for us. They can't put their government on top of us. Like right now, we're in a colonial occupation. We can't register our children under our own nation. That's against the law. They were never supposed to do that to us. Register our kids under the Indian Act. We should be issuing our own driver's license. We're not allowed to because they were under a colonial occupation. But this is proof that they were never allowed to do that. This is proof that they were never allowed to do that to our people. And that's why it's so important that if we know our history, then we'll be able to stand up for ourselves. That covenant chain, we have to remember, they offered that to us. They promised us that they were never going to molest our lands. They promised us that they would never force their government on ours or their laws on us. They promised us that this great covenant chain would be so strong of these promises that they could never be broken. But they forgot. They need to be reminded. That's why this is so important, because as we're under a colonial occupation, like I want to be able to register my child under the Anishinaabe Nation, because that's who I am. I want to be able to have my own passport and driver's license through Anishinaabe Nation. My nation is a big nation. We're good people. We're smart people. We can do anything. I want to be able to get a passport through the Anishinaabe Nation. I want to be able to, we should have our own government other than the Indian Act. All these things, you know. And we were promised that. They were never going to erode that or disrupt that because we had our own life. We had our own road. You know, when I got taken to court for my taxes, I went on my big history thing and the judge said, just go. He's like, just, Isaac, go. He's like, well, I'm not dealing with you right now. And so right now I currently don't file my taxes. But he didn't challenge it because if I won, it would set precedents for everybody else. So he just kicked me out and said, go. And my ex-wife was laughing at me because she just happened to be there. And she's like, no, you need to keep charging him. Keep charging him. It was funny. So stand up for yourself. Stand up for your rights. As Anishinaabe people, we can go hunting anywhere in our lands. That's governed by us. There's always so much fear every time you try to do something, you know? We shouldn't have to pay taxes on our own lands. That was never agreed upon. These metals came from the wars. of when they fought the British, the Americans, you know, our people really fought hard for our own independence, for our own freedom. We didn't fight for the British's freedom because they didn't have any land. We fought for our land. So we have to honor that by exercising our responsibilities on the land and our language, and by exercising and we were not a tax-paying people. That's it. That's breaking the promises. That there is a piece of fluff. You can take the fluff off of it. She's like, is that supposed to be there, Isaac? Like, no, that's a piece of fluff.
Wasn't sure if it was like holding something together.
Oh, no, it's fine. So anyway, so after this belt was given, it wasn't too much longer when the war ended. The 22 nations were represented in this belt, but 24 were supposed to be included. And it was agreed that we're going to be allies with the British under peace and friendship agreements. This wasn't a surrender. We've never surrendered the land. This is not a, you get to have everything and we have nothing. This was more of a peace and friendship thing. On their way to this gathering, my grandmother told me, she says, Isaac, she says, I'll tell you what happened when they were going there. They went there and they were going to kill all of the British there, but they decided not to. They had a shaking tent at a place called Tikamikshing. Not the reserve at Tikamikshing. There's another one in the bush called a Tikamikshing. You know the waterfalls by what's that? When you're going to Birch Island there, Whitefish Falls. That's where they had a ceremony, and a big serpent came out of the ground in that shaking tent, and it told them, when you go down there, you can't kill them because the world is changing. They're always going to come. You can't kill them. You can't go to war against them. And so only because of that is the reason why we took this belt. We knew that the world was changing and that they're going to keep coming and that we couldn't fight them off, that we had to make peace. And peace is the key word. And so today, when I think about that, we have to ask ourselves, they're the ones that offered peace to us. And we said yes. That doesn't mean we cannot. Being under a colonial occupation, under the Indian Act and apartheid system, that's not peace. Having little to no say in our lands is not peace. Peace is not happening right now. The stats are telling us that. And so it's knowing our history is very important when we're dealing with the Crown or the Canadian government. So when I speak to the government or the Canadian government, which I do from time to time, I whip this stuff out and I tell them. And they can't say anything. What can they say? They can't win. Simply because we know our history. My father was able to preserve this history, my grandfather. And so anyway, after this belt happened, the Americans fought with the British twice, and they made the Treaty of Ghent, which led to another story, which I'm going to be sharing with you very soon. And Canada and the United States was made, and they put the Indian Act in place so that a free-for-all and resource extraction can happen in our territories, which it did. and still continues today. And it's not something that one person can stop. We have to change the social conscience of society and how we live and how we think in order for these things to change. And so this is a song that was sung to me by my great aunt. And it's funny how these treaty songs that I'm pulling up were actually sung by women. They're the ones that preserve them. It's neat.
I'm there,
Come on, let's go. Before. We know about the laws, the treaty. We can't sleep because of this treaty. We can't sleep because we're distraught in our mind. We can't sleep.
I'm there.
Oh, we can't sleep because of what happened at the treaties. They're not right. The deals were not right. Like we've been shortchanged or we've been ripped off. And now our shoes are wrong, our path is wrong. We don't have the same moccasins anymore. Our life is changing, our path is changing. We can't sleep because of what happened. Those are not the right deals. Then she goes on to repeat the song, or repeat the words. So then now you have another song that talks about how they weren't, after the treaty was made, that the written documents aren't true. They couldn't sleep. They were distraught. They're like, this isn't right. They're trying to give us another life. They're trying to make us walk another way. We have to go back. Come on, let's go. Ambe machida. Gibwa ma ba. We have to go. We have to go back. Like before this, how this agreement was before. They knew that something really bad happened when the treaties were signed. This particular treaty, which was the Robinson-Huron Treaty. So they knew that something was horribly wrong shortly after. And this song was made by my great-great-great-grandfather. So my parents knew the meaning of these things. Which leaves us to the next part of the story, which is right now. Believe it or not, we are the creators of the next part of the story. We are the ones that have the power to write this next chapter. We are the ones that have been destined and planted here like seeds to try and create a world that's really amazing for our young people. We know the history. We know that things didn't turn out right. We know that we contributed. We gave everything. We've given everything. And yet we still have our people homeless on the streets. That's not right. But here's some good news. Our young people are strong. Our elders are strong. Our leadership is strong. We have incredible people doing amazing things. And I believe 100% that when we build each other up, when we lift each other up and we remain positive with each other, and we start building beautiful, we start changing the world by creating beautiful and by creating good things, then the young people will have a more beautiful world. It's not rocket science. It's that simple. If we want the kids to have nice world, we make nice world. If we want the kids to have clean water, we need to protect the water. If we want the kids to have land, we need to protect the land. But protecting the land doesn't always mean just protesting. I mean, look what Josephine Baugh did. Josephine walked around the lakes, and look what she did. She created a whole ceremony that'll last forever now. Being for something beautiful is more powerful than being against something ugly. I'll say that again. Being for something beautiful is more powerful than being against something ugly. So, for example, if I'm for a river or a creek, it's more powerful than being against a dam, a pipeline, a nuclear waste depository situation. Being for something beautiful like flowers and butterflies and trees, there's power in that than being against something. Because if we can spend all our lives being angry at the system, angry at, like me, I'm angry at the Indian Act all the time. I'll never get over it, for those that know me. But if I spend all my time being angry at the Indian Act, then I have zero time to create beautiful. I have zero time to be happy. I have zero time to hang out with my friends. And they're not going to want to hang out with me anyway because I'm always mad at the Indian Act. Strategy. Do we want to be right or do we want to win? We want to win. And how do we do that? By building each other up. By being kind to each other, supporting each other's dreams, and recognizing that we're chosen to be here at this sacred time for a reason, and that we have a special sacred gift, and that thousands of years from now, our people are going to look back at this time in history, and they're going to tell this sacred story of what happened. And guess who the heroes are going to be? They're going to be us. So if you're looking at the story from a book, from the perspective of reading a book of what's happening now, so you look at the wars and the promises and this and that and the blah, 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 the colonial occupation and everything else, and you look at it and you read it, what would you want to see in this next part of this next chapter? What would you want to read? What would inspire you? What would make you think, wow, okay, that was really cool? What's the next part? Only you can answer that, so I'm going to ask you. Raise of hands. What's the next part of the story? Guy in the hat, you look pretty solid. You look like you're a warrior guy. What's the next part of the story? Just the next story of what's happening now. We're going to adapt? How about you? I didn't burn you at the stake. What's the next part of the story?
I think the next part of the story is that we as Indigenous people will guide the non-Indigenous people, making the earth better.
Making the earth better, guiding. What's the next part of the story?
I don't know.
She doesn't know, but she's reading the book. Next part of the story? Remember, I just got up here and whipped out a wampum belt. Like, you're not even allowed to be shy. Like, you're not even allowed to be shy. Next part of the story. Think beautiful. Think like if there was a next chapter, what would it be? It could be anything. Anything. We're the authors.
I see making more connections and engaging in more culture.
More connections and more culture.
Leading with love.
Leading with love. Love is powerful. You know, kindness can save a life and rudeness can take a life. Being kind is really important. You agree with her? Agree with her? Agree with her?
Healthy communities.
Healthy communities. Okay, so this is a big thing. So as a man, right, in my community, I had a lot of problems when I was young. I was taken away by Indian agents. Had problems. So I had a lot of healing to do. And as a man, I didn't want to heal because I don't like talking about my feelings because I'm a man. I'd rather eat toast. The last thing I want to do is heal, right? I want to eat toast. Um, but as a man, I had to do it. I have to heal. I have to go to healing so that I can be a productive member of my community. So I'm not, and I don't bring my community into a deficit, but that I'm an asset to my community and my family and my kids. So that means Isaac's got to drag himself to the ceremonies. Isaac's got to drag himself to the friggin' therapist because you know why? My people deserve me at my best. And so healing starts right here. And once we do that, it's contagious. Even my friends and even some of my brothers, and some of my brothers like would never, ever, ever want to go like on a healing journey. They're like, settle your kettle, man. We're not gonna go to like therapy or go to this. I'm like, yeah, but look what we went through. You know what? They're all in their 50s and they've all started to do counseling and therapy like me. So right off the hop, us brothers doing that created a healthy chain reaction in our community. Healing is really important. I just love that. I think that's so important. Good for you. What's the next chapter of the book there, young fella? We're in the world right now. It's 2026. What happens next? You can think of anything and make it true. Just 1 year go by really quick.
Education.
Education.
Together in peace.
Learn to live together in peace. That's what that's all about. Peace means respecting each other and, you know, I mean, really respecting each other. That's important. What's the next chapter of the story? I want somebody to like say, we're going to invent something really cool. We're going to like think big. Like I want some imagination too.
God, you set me up here, man.
I did.
Active and empathetic listening. How's that?
Active and empathetic listening. That's good.
Decarcerate all Indigenous prisoners.
Decarcerate all Indigenous prisoners, except my cousin.
I was thinking similar to you listening. Yeah.
Listening. So if we take the time to listen to each other a little bit more, it makes a difference because when you feel heard, when you feel like, yeah, I was heard, then it validates your existence as a human being when people pay attention to you and actually listen to you. So believe it or not, when we just listen to somebody having a hard time, that also saves lives. Listening is so important.
Yeah, I agree. Like listening, learning from each other.
Listening, learning from each other. That's good. But that has to be the last, listening, learning from each other.
Be gentle with ourselves.
Be gentle with ourselves. Yes. So here we are. We're in climate change. Resource extraction is an all-time high. People are going after resources for the major military industrial complex. There's a Cold War kind of happening right now. We got a whole bunch of not good issues. but we have strength because we have people with amazing hearts. And it's those people that can infect others and we can make change. What's the next part of the story? Jetpacks. I like that.
Healing as one and healing as a group.
Healing is one and healing is a group. Like who believes that society can heal collectively? I do. You know why? Because I've seen it and I see it happen. I think if people heal, then we can change and make things better. It's possible.
Empowering youth and younger generations.
Yeah, like youth, right? Like put your hand up like this. Like yay. Like youth, right? The youth have the power. Youth are pretty strong.
Respecting and caring for all our relations, not just our two-legged ones.
Yeah, just respecting the whole freaking world, right?
Purposeful connection.
Purposeful connection.
Making sure that everyone has access to healthcare, mental health supports, and just getting rid of poverty.
Yeah, getting rid of poverty, getting rid of making sure that people have help. That's really important.
We need to live the seven grandfather teachings like we did back in the olden days, not just talk about them.
Right. So live the seven grandfather teachings and not just talk about it, but actually live them, which is very hard to do, but we can do it.
The end of racism, an equitable society, and vacation on the moon.
Yes, end racism and go on a vacation on the moon. Did you know that Leonardo DiCaprio's dad wanted to send my art to the moon? And I said no. You know why I said no? I said, I think because they're actually buying cargo space for a trip that's going up there, and they wanted to put my art in a time capsule to represent the Indigenous resistance and all that. And so I said no because that's a sacred thing. If I do that, I might get in trouble or something. So I never did. You're gonna steal my medals. You have to talk. Like, yeah, we gotta check your pockets first. You're gonna steal all my stuff here. Like,
When the hospital draw. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think we have to share our stories and our history with our children and our grandchildren so they can continue to.
yeah,
That's what I do.
continue sharing our stories. We all have survival stories. We all have we all have amazing stories.
I thought I thought you were going to say that they want to send you to the moon.
Me to the moon. Yeah, they might send me to the moon yet. What's the next part of the story, Elvin?
I think first thing is decolonizing our minds, and that's for everybody. And also just unlearning what we've been taught.
Right. Decolonizing our minds, like going back to how our people used to think and relearning how to be Anishinaabe or whatever our tribe is, Cree, Neok, or whatever. That's a big thing. That's probably the most important thing.
Maybe to add to that, I think for me, a big part of it is having space where everybody can go out on the land and learn about it. And I'm going to use the word relationship, but it's about relationship with the land versus human to human, but human to plant and little animals and insects.
Absolutely. And Doplanan Yabgadakim nan. 100%.
Chumigwich. And I get Kiriaman. The Kalomona and Tanish Navian. And Tanish Navian. The Kalomage and Nishnabe Matsuin. Yeke Gijagi Diaman. Kain, Lakitosin. The and the man of Ske the Stoin. That's it.
Oh, so he's basically wants us to go back to our language and he wants us to hear it. He wants us to speak our language and our ways of being and knowing. And that's very important.
People finding sobriety more.
Yeah, sobriety. Sobriety. Did you know that I used to be a drunk? I used to be a drunk. I had a bad experience. I woke up in the drunk tank. Who's ever been in the drunk tank? Raise your hand. Me and the little boy. Okay, well, maybe I'm not going to tell this story then. Like, if I'm the only one that's ever been in there. I was in the drunk tank and I woke up and there was a native police officer there. And she said, Isaac, she goes, welcome back. And she says, this is the 7th night we've picked you up and put you in here. We can't take you out anymore. Like, I'm sorry, but we have to keep you. And so we're sending you to a jail. But you're not charged with anything, but we can't, we're trying to save your life. So we have to send you to jail. But we don't know what to do until this treatment center opens up. And at that time, I never thought I could ever be sober, ever. Like I never thought I could be so. Like I just finished doing a 7-day drunk tank in a row run. Like I was the champion alcoholic. Like, and I sobered up, and it's been over 30 years. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. You got to believe me. Good one.
Remaining teachable.
Yeah, remain teachable. Keep our mind open and our hearts open.
Forgiveness and to open your heart.
Forgiveness. That's so important. You know that, I remember one time me and my brothers were having this conversation, and I remember one of them was complaining about something like 35, 40 years ago. Like really. And so my mother said, how can you even complain about something that happened 40 years ago? Like, stop. Like, you haven't forgiven him yet? So yeah, forgiveness is really big. We have to forgive each other. And we're running out of time, so we got to cruise.
I truly believe in sobriety, to walk with a clear mind, and also to
Yeah. Yes, we need to be sobriety, and we need to focus on our ways and who we are as a people, and support each other.
Just gonna say healthy communities again.
Healthy communities. Bamapi Elvin.
People living their life with purpose and passion.
People living their life with say that again.
People living their life with purpose and passion.
Purpose and passion. Yes. How many people here know what they want to do in life? Raise your hand. Hopefully there's lots. Because once you know what you want to do you know what you want to do? Okay, we're going to get to you in a moment. Oh no, you can't get out of it.
Not getting intimidated by the scale of the problems and the scale of the need, but thinking locally, helping who you can.
Yeah, think about right here, right now. That's amazing. Okay, we're just going to tell you what you're going to do for the rest of your life. Okay, first thing I'm going to ask you 5 questions. What's your hobbies? Dance, reading, friends.
Family.
What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food?
Pasta.
Beatles or Stones?
Beatles.
You're going to be a zoologist.
Okay. I just watched Madagascar.
There you go. And I think we started with you, right?
Started down there.
Oh, you started with you? Now you could change the world in any way that you want to see. What's the change that could happen?
Spread positivity, be kind to one another, and spread that love, and continue to share the teachings and learn.
You see, there's like a constant theme of like being good, being kind, keep the teachings going, keep people on the land, keep the language going. You know, there's a constant thing in this story that we're in right now, the sacred story that we're in right now. Kindness, our language. Kapaskabe and Dopna non enwing and Ishnabe mon. We need to turn around and pick up our language. You know, that's good.
Stop polluting.
Stop polluting. The world will just stop.
Yeah, in the next chapter, I picture seed sharing, land sharing, and like skill sharing. I don't know. It's like a whole, I can picture it. It's a picture book in my head.
Seed sharing, land sharing, sharing of things. You know what? I believe that's how it was when I was young. We always shared everything.
I see in the future a permanent Indigenous cultural center for youth. And yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Awesome.
Balance.
Balance. Just being cool about stuff, right? Kindash.
Encourage everyone.
Encourage everyone. Amazing. Give yourselves a round of applause. We have just successfully changed the world. But more than that, I want you to know something, that these ideas that you talked about, they're so real. They're so tangible. It's not hard. Let's do a quick recap. Learning our language. There's language classes. Go to them. The elders are telling us to. Being good to the environment. Being kind to each other. You know, sobriety. Right? These are things that are actually attainable. Seed sharing. You know, be a zoologist. You know? Being kind, like every second or third one of us being good. That's actually what changes the world. Now, is being good impossible? I want to hear no. I want to hear ka. That was awesome. So with that, I want you to leave you with this. You actually can change the world. You actually can write the next chapter in the sacred story that we're in now. It's actually, you have the power to do it. It just takes action. I remember years ago, I had 60 people that I had to deal with. I had 30 principals and 36-year-old or 6-year-old kids. And I made 2 chief and councils because I didn't know what to do. I had the principals sit in a circle. I said, make a chief and council. Your job is to figure out how to get water to clean birds. I did the same thing with the 6-year-old kids. I said, make a chief and council, figure out how to get water to clean birds. Well, within seconds, the kids were singing a song. Within seconds, the adults had a flip chart. And for 20 minutes, the adults went through this flip chart and they created a new government and a new party and they just policies and legislation reform and all sorts of, you know, prescriptions for environment and all sorts of stuff. And they went on and on and on. That's how they're going to get water to clean birds. The kids, well, they had enough of that. You know what they did? They actually went and got a clay pot full of water and they said, follow us. And we followed them out the door. In the back of that college that we're in, there was a ravine in the back. They went to a tree. They placed the water there. And within 15 minutes, a family of mallard ducks came and little baby ducks were drinking that water. Not only did the little kids actually figure it out, they actually did it in 15 minutes. What was the difference? The kids took action. If you take action with your kindness, to learn your language, to be sober, to be kind and to share, you don't have to be perfect, then we automatically change the world. And when you make a mistake and when you slip up, you get back up, you put your tobacco down, and you just keep on going. The only reason why I'm here is to tell you this, is that you can actually really for real change the world. And I know that you're going to. Because we're the generation, we're the ones, it's gonna happen. So be that person. Chimigwich, on Gitchinen Dum, Yayam on Pigi Ganonan Guk Aadsookaanan. Wampum belts, meanwhile, Sagachaganan, the medals. It was nice to be able to talk to you, to tell you stories about these things. And I send you good wishes. I wish you good blessings. And do what you say. And the world changes. Miigwech, everybody, thank you very much. No. That's such nice teeth.
Oh, thank you. It's the Baxter smile. Um, all my cousins, we all have the same smile. So I just want to thank you. We're going to do questions if it's okay, but I kind of chuckled that we're giving you yet another bag to join your family of bags. But just on behalf of us here at Lakehead University, I just want to say Chimigwech, thank you for taking the drive. Very happy you're able to get here safely, and also wish you safe travels home.
Thank you.
Do we have a few minutes for questions in case anybody would have some? Okay. Sorry, my knees are getting old. Um, any questions for anybody? Or comments? Sure. Okay, I'm going to go around. I'm just going to keep walking in a circle.
Chimigwich. Thank you very much for that excellent presentation, and I'm glad you shared your knowledge with all of us. I'm just hoping, I'm not sure if you would be willing to come out, and I'm part of the Independent First Nations, and that's why I came. And thank you, LU, for letting me come and sit here, and my good friend Kathy. I'm hoping that we can do an invite out to you and have you come out to speak to the Independent First Nations, which is about 40,000 First Nation, 12 different communities within Ontario, one in Quebec and state of New York. And I'm hoping to get your contact before I leave.
Yeah, just get a hold of it. Yeah, you can
I have it.
feel figured out.
Thank you.
Thank
Chimigwich.
you.
Yep. Awesome.
All right, any other questions? I saw there was a hand. Okay, oh, a little hand.
Oh, wow.
The best hands. Talk really close to the mic.
I really like how everyone is here, and I'm happy to see all of you, and I want all of you to say goodbye to me, so I can say goodbye to you guys.
Oh, my heart.
So sweet. I know. Big sounds.
Mama P, we'll see you later. You're such a sweetheart. Bye. Everybody say bye to her. Bye. Oh, that's sweet.
All right, maybe one more. Any questions, comments? Elder Jean?
I just want to say sorry I missed most of your lecture and your presentation on wampums and your medals. My name is Gene Nawagijik. I'm from Kashkazagin. I understand a lot of this cultural history and how the Nishnabek, Jibwek, Ishab Madzog Benin. I got all my teachings from my grandfather's great grandfathers. it's passed on to me a lot of the history and knowledge. I come from the Robinson Spirit Treaty. I'm the direct descendant of that. And I like hearing from other people from the Anishinaabe nations about the true history of what happened to us. You know, I know one time we were 100 million strong, and we were only down to 1 million in Canada. The real Anishinaabe bloods, you know. I know there's lots of cross culture intermarriages like that. And I think that's affected our way of life, my belief. So if you're going to teach the truth, you know, nobody talked about the truth and respect and honor, you know, that I would like to see happening in our schools. I know it's starting some, but we need to speed it up, I think, because the world is changing too fast. You know, if you look at what's happening in Minneapolis, you know, the people there are taking charge. They're kicking out the army. They don't want the army to run their business. And I think that's what happened to us. The army, like you mentioned, the Indian Act. I'm still cursing at that act. And those kinds of issues are important. I know most folks are tired of hearing the Anishinaabe speak the truth, but I also understand we don't have a Anishinaabe problem. We have a settlers problem. Then you get into that, you know, the that splits us up in our ways of life. So to me, you're a young man and you got a lot of more running shoes you're going to wear out. You get to all our people. I see you got a brand new pair there. Gee, good.
Any comments you want to make? And then I'll be
Okay, so, you know, remember not what I said, but remember what you said. Because what you said is actually really important. I just gave you some old stories. What you said is the now, what needs to happen now stuff. That's important. So with that again, Chimigwich, thank you so much, everybody. Have a great evening. Now.
Miigwech. Elder Beatrice, if I could invite you up to do our closing. I'm just going to get the mic set up here for you. You'll hold it? Okay.
Bonjour. I'd like to say Chimigwech again to Isaac for sharing those old stories with us. And I just want to say I'm Bear Clan, he's Fish Clan. No wonder I like you. Bears love fish. I just want to say too, when he was talking about when he first shared the story about the white bear and all the power that white bear has. My little grandson, he's 10 years old. His name is Jackson. His spirit name is White Bear. You know, when he was a little baby, that's when he got his name at 6 months. And I used to hold him and I used to wonder what his purpose in life is going to be. And I used to pray, oh, I pray you're a great leader, maybe a prime minister one day, you know. Right now, he plays hockey. And oh my God, he just loves hockey. And his aspirations are to become a great hockey player one day. And you know, when I was thinking about that one time, and oh my God, I could just feel that spirit, his passion just go through me. And I pray, you know, his aspirations will come true and that, yes, that he will be a great leader one day too. So I'd like to say miigwech again for for your stories, for your teachings, and Chimigwich to all those who shared all your aspirations for this world to become a better place. So miigwech, and I'm just happy to say this is ending when it should, because I have to go see my grandkids after school, so I'll have time. I just wanted to I'll say this serenity prayer here. And I'm not fluent in my language, so chimigwech minwa gijim nido. Beka Dindamawin na Maywin, Serenity Prayer. De Benjigate, Gibigidamak, Beka Dindamawin. God grant me serenity. Jimina Dipnama Gestus one, Huyentus one, to accept the things I cannot change. Jimishkwa Windama, Jikwexidonwa, Gestonwa. Courage to change the things I can. Meanwhile, Nibaka win a Jikindama, and wisdom to know the difference. Patience for things that take time. Appreciation for all I have, and tolerance for those with different struggles than my own. Miigwech, miigwech. Okay, thank you.
Miigwech, thank you. Also, we had a guest. Well, I guess she's actually the guest. We're her guest. We have the president and vice chancellor of the university, Dr. Jillian Siddell. So if I could. Thank you for the wave. But I know for those of us who work here at Lakehead and those of us who work with the community, we have been working on our new strategic plan that's titled Evolution. And there's a little play on words there with LU being in it. But the decolonization and the indigenization of both of our curriculum and our ways of being and how we're interacting in our work with communities really has a strong role in that strategic plan, and we're working on. I chuckled at all the planning, Isaac, when you talked about the plans, but in fact, sometimes we do have to make plans so that we can take action. And so I just wanted to just acknowledge Jillian and appreciate her clearing some time in her schedule. Because she, has probably a lot of things happening in a 7-day cycle every single week, but really happy to have her here. And happy to have all of you here. And for those of you who are joining us online, Chimigwech for joining us. Probably if you haven't, and I just actually watched a video that Isaac did with us in 2022 over the weekend. So we have it on our university website too. And so there's different stories there. And I think a chance whenever you get another chance to hear Isaac, either in person or sometimes on Facebook, you'll see things happening. He and others who carry those stories, it's a really important and special time of year for us to be able to sit and spend time with those. So I want to thank everybody. Thank you for making the travel with us. And please take some bannock before you leave, because it is Friday and it's not going to hold until Monday. So please help yourself to either a takeout coffee, tea, bannock, or a juice box. Okay? So miigwech, everyone. Thank you very much. And we'll see you again online.